Okay, so we're continuing in Megilat Esther Perek Bet, Pasuk Yud Daled. So we were talking about the ladies that are in this beauty pageant that are going to see the king every night. So the Pasuk says, Ba'erev hi ba'a, uba boker hi shava. In the evening she would come to the king. He's talking about general the ladies. In the morning, hi shava, she would return. Where would she return to? El bet hanashim sheni, the second house of the lady. Eliad Shashgaz, Seris HaMelech, Shomer Pilakshim. In the hands of Shashgaz, who was one of the ministers of the king, he was the guard of the Pilakshim, the concubines. We'll see what this means in a minute. Lo tava'od el HaMelech, these girls would not come back to the king, Im chafetz ba HaMelech v'nikreya b'shem, unless the king wanted her and they would call her by name. So the way it worked was there was a home for the Betulot, for the virgins, and that was by Hegeh Seris HaMelech, that was run by a person named Hegeh. They went to the king, and actually, after that point, they became the king's concubines. They became the Pilakshim of the king, because anyone that went with the king now cannot go and marry a regular person. So they were always property of the king, so to speak. And the regular girls, they needed 12 months of preparation to see the king. But after that, if the king wanted a different girl, then he could call her from the Pilakshim. That's the way it went. Uhagia Tor Esther bat Avichail. Now when it got to the turn of Esther, the daughter of Avichail, Dod Mordechai, the uncle of Mordechai, Asher, the cousin of Mordechai, Asher lakach lo levat, that Mordechai took her as a daughter, Lavo el HaMelech, when it was her turn to come to the king, Lo biksha davar, she did not ask for anything, meaning she did not ask for any extra, perfumes or anything extra. Ki'im et asher yomar Hegeh Seris HaMelech Shomer HaNashim, only what the minister of the king, Hegeh, whatever he advised, he was the one that ran the Betulot home. Whatever he advised to take, that's what she took. She didn't do anything extra. She didn't do anything lower as well, not to look suspicious. That's why you're not dressing up for the king. She did what he said. But he Esther noset chen be'enei kol ro'eha, and Esther was beautiful in the eyes of everyone that saw her. So the Gaon of Vilna points out over here that, number one, we're mentioning Esther, again, the daughter of Avichai, daughter of Mordechai, or we're mentioning her parents again. This is because when Hashem does a nes for a tzaddik, he brings in the whole family as well. This person is a special person. But for a Rasha, we just mentioned Haman. We just mentioned the person's name. We don't include his parents' word, etc. Lo biksha davar. Why was it that she didn't go to make herself even more fancy? Because again, she was struggling with this whole thing. Now, of course, that Achashverosh, now being king, so it was still very difficult for her. And the Pasuk says that she was beautiful in the eyes of everyone. The Gemara says she was one of the most beautiful ladies. Also, the Gemara says that she was Yerak. She had a green complexion, which some say was not so beautiful. Some say it was something different and therefore even more beautiful. But the explanation, says the Gaon of Vilna, was naturally she was beautiful. But because she was so sick by the fact that she was there in the palace, so she developed a sickness. And this sickness left a green complexion. But nevertheless, even though she was so sick and like down, like the situation she was in, she was still beautiful in the eyes of everyone. But Tilakach Esther, last pasuk for today, Esther was taken against the will. El HaMelech Achashverosh El Bet Malchuto. She was taken from the home of the Betulot under Hegeh. She was taken again to the king Achashverosh. Chodesh Asiri hu Chodesh Tevet. In the 10th month, which is the month of Tevet, which is the cold month, which is in Tevet, right? So, Bishnat Sheva L'Malchuto, the 7th year of Achashverosh kingdom. Says the Gaon of Vilna, what does that to tell us when this happened? So number one, in the month of Tevet, it's a cold night, and it's a long night. So the cold night and long night was also part of the miracle that her turn was going to be there. So Achashverosh spent a long time with her and developed that love with her. And actually, also, this also caused the part of the miracle, which we're going to see later in the story, where Achashverosh has two ministers that wants to kill him, Bigtan and Teresh. They want to kill him. Mordechai found out, and that Mordechai told Esther that these guys want to kill him. That's when Achashverosh wrote in the Chronicles that he owes a favor to Mordechai, who saved his life. So why do these guys want to kill him for? So the Midrash says they were the guards outside of Achashverosh's room, in general. And when it came to the night of Esther, it was an Teresh, it was a long night, and he spent a long time with her. And they were mad. Like, come on, we want to go to sleep already. Right? And he was spending the whole day with her. They said, we're going to just kill this king. It's too much already. That's where it started. And that was all, again, part of to get to part of the miracle. And also, why does it mention the 7th year of his kingdom? Let's pay attention. At the beginning, when was the party? In his 3rd year of his kingdom. It was in the 3rd year because that's when he built the throne. Now it's the 7th year, so 4 years later. He says as follows. What happened was, on the night of the party took 180 days, but when it came to that last night, that's when he killed Vashti, that's when he decided to do the beauty pageant. So what happened for the last 4 years? She was in hiding for 3 years. Says the government that Esther was in hiding for 3 years. It wasn't hiding for a few months. She was in hiding for 3 years, and then she had 1 year of preparation, right, as every girl got to meet Achashverosh. So the 4 years difference in 3 and 7 was 3 years of hiding, and then the last year of preparation. So that shows how Esther wanted to not be there at all, to go with Achashverosh, etc. And she hid so much, and that's why Mordechai was so afraid they're going to do something to her. Yeah. Haman and the man. I don't know. The Gemara does say, yeah. I'm sure there is some sort of similar words and everything. Yeah, same word. Food, yeah. So you want to know what's the connection? I don't know, because the Gemara does say, where is Haman hinted to in the Torah? And that's actually from Adam HaRishon, when he says, Hashem tells him, Hamina etz, that I told you from the tree, that I told you not to eat from, did you eat? Same letters there, Hamin. And then the whole Dvar Torah is explaining the connection. Haman. Yeah. Lina, they will try finding something to connect. I'm sure there's some sort of connection. Okay, that brings us to the end of the shiur today, and we will continue with the story tomorrow. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Chanan Yemen HaKashom Ha'atzah Kadosh Baruch Hu Lezakot et Yisrael Lefi Chachim Ba'alem Torah Koshe Ne'emar Adonai Chafetz V'Tzidko Yagdiu Torah ve'Yadir.